Hi everyone. Today I am going to tell you the story of one story from Mahabharata series, and the name of the story is Dronacharya. So as usual, Rishi Vaishnapan began his narration about the Kuru race princess learning from Kripacharya first and then from Dronacharya. So immediately King Janmejaya asked, "O Rishi, who was Drona and why he was bestowed the Kuru princess for learning by Pitamaha Bhisma? Please tell me something about Drona." And Rishi Vaishnapan, overwhelmed with joy, seeing the desirous mind of King Janmejaya, he said, "Yes, Janmejaya, you deserve to listen the story of Drona." Then he began. Bharadwaj was a great Rishi. He had only one son and his name was Drona. Dronacharya, from the very beginning, he started learning the Vedas and Vedangas, and at the same time he became the master of science of arms, all the weapons and archery too. When he was studying at that time, Drupada, the son of King Rishi, a friend of Bharadwaj, he also came to their hermitage and learnt all the vidyas with Dronacharya. So at that time they were small kids and they learnt everything and they became close friends. And most of the time Drupada used to tell Dronacharya that if ever he would ascend the throne, he would give Drona half of his kingdom. Just as a child he was telling him this thing, because they are very close friends. And in due course of time, when their vidya was over, Drupada went to his kingdom Panchal and he ascended the throne after the death of his father. Dronacharya also grew up by that time and he got married to Kripi, the sister of Kripacharya. So Drona became the master of archery. Once after his marriage, he was blessed with a son, Ashwasthama. But Drona was poor because he never desired for any material wealth. One day, Ashwasthama cried for cow milk, but Drona was unable to give him cow milk. So Ashwasthama cried for cow milk again and again. Seeing Ashwasthama crying, his friends just to do some mockery, they gave him mixed rice and water, and told him that this is cow milk, drink it. Ashwasthama was a child, innocent child. He couldn't come to know whether it was cow milk or something else. He drank it, and out of joy he started dancing and said, "I drank cow milk, I drank cow milk." Seeing this scenario, Drona became very sad. He mumbled himself, "Fie on you, Drona, fie on your poverty. You are so poor that you can't feed your child with cow milk." Thus Drona thought himself and felt very bad. Suddenly one day he remembered about the friendship of Drupada, because that time Drupada already became the king of Panchal. So he went to Drupada thinking that he would recognize him and accept him as his friend. But in due course of time, Drupada's mind was changed, and engrossed with a luxury, wealth and power, Drupada completely had forgotten the friendship between them. When Drona came to his court and said, "Oh Drupada, you just remember me and accept me as your friend." Then Drupada became furious and he said, "Who are you? And how dare you to address me as your friend? I don't know you. How can a beggar be a friend of a king? And how can there would be any friendship between two opposites, like you are a vagabond and I am the sovereign of a kingdom? How can you think this?" However, Drona told him his childhood days, but Drupada couldn't accept. He humiliated him, telling so many worst possible things. And even he said, "Oh Brahmin, if you want, I can give you shelter and food for one night, but don't think me as your friend. That is impossible, and friendship exists only between two equals." This hurt Drona too much. He came out from Drupada's royal court and vowed, he took the vow that he would take the revenge. Somehow he came to his brother-in-law Kripa, or he was also known as Kripacharya, who was staying in Hastinapur. Even Drona decided to be a preceptor of the king family. That is why he came to Kripacharya and told him everything about Drupada. And one day, while he was performing his evening puja in a forest, at that time, all the princes of Kuru race, they went there for playing. While they were playing the football, the ball fell into a well. They looked at it, but they couldn't take it out. And Drona looked at them and smiled. Then the princes, they just asked his help. Drona then said, "How can you not be able to take out that ball? And what type of skill you have? You have not learned anything." The princes of Kuru race felt very bad, and they asked him. Then the Yudhishthir among all the princes said, "Oh Brahmin, if you can bring this ball, then we would give you a meal, a delicious meal in our palace." And Drona said, "Well, then now see." And he took the bow and arrow and took out that, and chanting some mantras, he took out that ball. Even he threw his own ring and told the princess that, "Look, this ring also I can bring it from the well." He showed them his magical art, his skill, and the princes of Kuru race were very happy. And they said, "O Brahmin, we bow before you. Who are you? Please tell us." Then Drona said, "O Prince, go to your Pitamaha and describe about me. Then you can come to know who am I." They went and told Bhishma everything. Bhishma was stunned when he heard about Drona, because he knew he was no other than Drona. So he went himself and bowed his head before Drona and requested him to come to his palace and be the preceptor of the princess. Then Drona also was very happy, because that is what he wanted. He came and stayed in the given palace, by given hall or palace, whatever you may say, in Hastinapur. From that day onwards, Drona became the Gurudev of all the princes, Kauravas and Pandavas. While Drona was teaching his method, his skill, he came to know that among all the princes, Parth, otherwise known as Arjun, will be the best one. So one day, after few days, one day he called his disciples and said, "O sinless princes, I have a request and I have a desire too. You have already gained so much science of arms. You know how to display the weapons and archery also. Do one favor to me." Then everybody agreed, "Yes, Gurudev, command us." Drona said that, "You go to Panchal and bring the king Drupada alive to me. But don't kill him, just bring him to me." And first they agreed, and first Drona sent to Karna and Duryodhana. Karna and Duryodhana, they both went to Panchal. They tried their best, but failed. They came back, and then Drona one by one asked everyone, and everybody failed except Arjun. At last Drona asked Arjun, "O Arjun, go to Panchal and bring King Drupad to me and don't kill him." Arjun went there and successfully he brought Drupad to Dronacharya, his Gurudev. Now, when Drupad saw Dronacharya, he understood. At that time, Dronacharya said, "O Drupad, once you told me that the friendship exists between the equals. Now I am the king, and you told me to give the half of your kingdom. Now Arjun has already won over the whole kingdom of yours. So now I want to be the king of your half of your kingdom, and I will give you that half. Now go back and stay there. And remember, never insult to anyone." Then he released Drupada. Drupada went away, but he was very much humiliated back by Dronacharya, and he did enough tapasya, meditation or asceticism, so that he could get some boon. Ultimately, Drupada got the boon doing his sacrificial fire, and he got the son Dhrushtadhyumna and Draupadi as his daughter, and also Sikhandini. However, Drupada stayed in his half kingdom, and Drona was busy with his disciples. he, whatever it may be, Drona was little bit partial to his disciples. Particularly, he loved Arjun much more than anybody else. He taught them mace, how to display the sword, every science of arms. But he was very happy with, very much satisfied with Arjun. And he also knew that Arjun in future can do miracle. Sometimes he was taking also the taste of his disciples. Whatever it may be, he loved his son much more than anybody else. He loved his Aswasthama. So while teaching, he gave one bowl, narrow-mouthed bowl, a vessel to his disciples to bring, to fetch some water, which will take much time. While at that time he gave to his son a wide-mouthed vessel to fetch water. That time he taught Aswasthama some divine mantras, which Arjun learned it easily. Then at that time Arjun was there and he learned it. When Dronacharya asked to bring the water, at the same time Arjun used the Varunastra and filled the vessel, and he came with Aswasthama. I mean, the same time Aswasthama brought the water, same time Arjun also came back. Drona was very happy. Once even Drona called his cook and said, "Look, do not give food Arjun in the dark." But Arjun didn't say anything. He didn't know, because, and also he reminded the cook that he should not tell this thing to Arjun. But while they were eating food at that time, first the wind blew and somehow the light was off. Everybody left the food, but Arjun continued to eat in the dark also. Then Dronacharya was sure that Arjun was exceptional. One day he took all his disciples to test their archery. So before calling them, he fixed a artificial bird on the top of the tree. Then none of them know about it. When Drona asked one by one disciple to aim the bird and to cut off bird's head, he first called Yudhishthir. Then he said, "Oh Yudhishthir, look at the bird on the top of the tree and just wait for my order. When I will order you, you just cut off the head. Till then you have to wait." Then Yudhishthir agreed. Before starting, Yudhishthir was ready. At that time, Dronacharya asked, "Oh Yudhishthir, can you see me, yourself and your brothers or anything else while you are ready to shoot?" Then Yudhishthir said, "Yes, Gurudev, I can see you, my brothers, the tree and the bird too." Then Dronacharya smiled and said, "Okay, come out." Then Yudhishthir kept his bow and arrow. Similarly, he asked Duryodhana, Dushasan and all Bhimsen, all other princes. Then at last he called Arjun. Arjun stood aiming the bird. Then Dronacharya asked, "Oh Arjun, can you see me, your brothers, the sky and any other things and the bird?" Then Arjun said, "Oh Gurudev, I can't see anything except except the head of the bird. Then Dronacharya said, "Well done, Arjun, no need to raise your arrow, just come down." Then he realized the thing which he thought before. This way, Dronacharya taught his disciples and taught them everything. But at last, Drona, who was slayed by Dhrushtadimna, the son of Drupada, in the Mahabharata war. It is said that if the bow and arrow is on Dronacharya's hand, then no one in this earth can win over him. This was when everybody knew about this. He was invincible. He was very powerful and master of so many divine mantras. Well, this much I can say for the time being about Drona. And tomorrow I will say the next episode of Mahabharata series. Dronacharya left his bow and arrow in the battlefield because he heard that Yudhishthira said Aswasthama is dead. But actually Yudhishthira didn't say Aswasthama is dead. He said Nareva Gunjare Aswasthama Hataha. That means, and the Nareva Gunjare word he pronounced in a very low pitch, which was not heard by Guru Dronacharya. He promised before that if the day his son would die, he would not fight with anyone. He would drop his bow and arrow. That is why Yudhishthira was bound to say, since Dronacharya was invincible, he was bound to say a lie that Nareva Gunjari Aswasthama Hata. Of course, it was Lord Krishna's plan, because whatever it may be, Krishna was the master of this universe. And so, end of Dronacharya in Mahabharata battlefield. Next episode I will tell you tomorrow. Thank you so much.